part of the course of this conference is just to give a bit of feedback from the regions. Yesterday we had Jyoti and Pamela, which was really great, and this session is a bit of feedback about what's happening in Mauritius, and my friend Jerome is going to help me with that. Come, please, Jerome. And when people ask me about Redeemer Church when I'm in other places or other churches, what I tend to do is to tell the stories of people in the church, things that have happened in people's lives and kind of the changes that we've seen or kind of the aim that we're trying. And this is one of my friends that I speak about, Jerome. So, Jerome, last time there were a couple of guys sitting on these chairs, a lot of emotion. Please keep it together today. So, Harry, Jerome played for the national Mauritian rugby team. One of the first times I met Jerome, he invited me to watch him play rugby. It was here at Riverland. He was playing for his club against the Western Cowboys. What's the name of your club again?
Island Blues.
Island Blues. And I remember watching this game, and your team got a penalty against you, Jerome. And you were walking back away from the penalty, and you were holding the ball. And one of the opposition tried to get that ball from you. I learned that day, just don't try to take the ball from Jerome. Jerome is a wonderful, wonderful man that I've grown to love. Maybe you can just introduce yourself a little, Jerome. Tell us who you are, who you're married to, just something about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Jerome. I'm Mauritian, born in Mauritius. I'm married to Amelia. She just went to work, and she's from Poland. And we have two little boys, King Julian and King David. And we live in Black River.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to just cover a little bit of Jerome's journey with some questions and answers, and then at the end we're going to show a video of some community work that we're involved in. But Jerome, if we were having this interview 12 years ago, and in that day playing for the national rugby team, and you were the champion show jumper as well in Mauritius at that time, you were a man's man, as Harry would call you, and probably not easily find yourself in a context like this. What were you living your life for? What was your life about 12 years ago? What would you say this was your meaning in life?
I'll definitely not be here. My life was very centered around myself. When I was 15, I was doing lots of sports. I was doing basketball. I was playing for first division, soccer, squash, badminton. Very good for for the stamina, rugby, horse riding. And my father told me to choose two sports. So I chose horse riding and rugby, two different sports. Horse riding is very individual, while rugby is very team spirit. So I played all my life, and I was lucky enough to represent my country in both sports many times. So, but my life was, centered on my sports and around myself only, and to have fun with my friends and going out and party.
Sure. Were you drinking?
A lot.
Just living in the world?
Yes, living in the world. I was living in the north, which is where all the nightclubs are, and having fun Friday, Saturday, sometimes during the week, and just enjoying life.
So something happened. There came a particular day in your life, and at that time a number of things happened that brought you to a bit of a crisis moment. Can you talk us through that moment, especially that moment where I think you stopped at an intersection and it was a big moment in your life?
Yeah, so before I was saved, I was going out with a girl, and she wanted to get rid of me despite as lovely as I am. And she was a Christian, and women have different ways of getting rid of boyfriend, and her way was to invite me at a Christian lunch. So her plan thought that I'm going to come, we're going to talk about God, and then I'm going to run away. I did came, and at lunch, there was a guy sitting in front of me called Alain Lofena, and at lunch he just asked questions about me, who I am, where I'm coming from. Very easy. Then we went for a walk, and then with Amelia, and then we came back. And when we came back, he started talking about God to me. He spoke for Like for 1 hour approximately, we talk about God, and I was quite intrigued and interesting and curious about what he was saying about relationship with a God, but I didn't know. I was baptized as a Catholic, and I was praying every night the same prayer. I believe there was a God, but I didn't have any. He was talking about a relationship I didn't have with this God. So we left like that, and I went back home. And during the week, I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday night. One of my friends called me, and he said, "Listen, we're looking for Xavier, which is a close friend of mine. We played national squad together. He was in St. Charles College in South Africa. Brilliant guy, young father of 2 children, very good businessman, always smiling. Really the guy you want to be around, especially I think a bit like Harry." And so I said, "Listen, Xavier, he must be hunting rabbit in the sugarcane, fishing a fish somewhere. He's this type of guy." So, you must be right. 2 hours later, they phoned me, and they found him on his field. He was cleaning his field, and he had a rupture of aneurysm. I don't know if I say it well. And he passed, and he died. And apparently, when he died with his arm on a cross. And so the next day was a funeral, and he was in the north. So I drove all the way to the north, and when I arrived, it was in a Catholic church in the north, La Salette. And it happened that the guy who was sitting in front of me at the lunch was a pastor, and he was preaching in a Catholic church, which I think is quite rare. And his preach was all about how God has planned that we don't know, and our life is just very quick, and we don't know what's going to happen in our life, but God has a long plan, and that we need to trust and believe into what the plan He has. And after the funeral in Mauritius, you have to go and shake the hands of the parents and say greet your condolences. And I don't know why I was just sitting there, and everyone was lots of people, so it was a long queue, and so I said, "No, I'm gonna wait here and just think about what Alain was saying." And when he came to me, we started chatting. "What did you think about my speech?" And I said, "Yeah, I understand, but I don't assimilate it inside of me, and I don't know." And so we were quite close with Xavier, and then it was the end, so I went to greet the end of Bernard and Monique to do my condolences. Then I took my car and I drove back, and on my way back to Black River, my girlfriend phoned me. She said, "How are you?" I said, "Listen, I just buried my friend, so I don't feel very well." She said, "Come back in the north and we can spend some time together." So I went back to the north, and we chatted a little bit, went to sleep. Next morning, we have a coffee at Josiane Dalle's place. And she said to me, "Jerome, don't forget, we've been talking about each other, and we need to take a decision about our relationship." And I'm like, "Listen, give me until Friday. I just buried my friend. It's complicated for me." And then I realized that I had a meeting at 9:30 in Eben, very big contract I need to sign, and it was 8 o'clock in the north, and there was not Terre Rouge, Verdun, etc. So I had to go for Port Louis, and I said, "There's no way I'm going to make it in time for Port Louis." So I'm like, and then she said, "But go for the mountain." I said, "Okay, I'm going to go for a mountain, but I know the way down, I don't know the way up. But anyway, I'm going to try my luck." So I drove up, I went for a mountain, and of course I'm lost. And rugby player, you always go forward, so I drive forward, and I arrived to intersection, and I was saying it a lot in my head, so I said, "Okay, if I turn right, and continue with Amelia. If I turn left, I'll break up with Amelia." I arrive at intersection, I don't know why, I turn left. I turn left, my phone ring, straight, and it's Amelia. She said, "Listen, can't continue like that, we need to break up." I said, "Okay, we break up." So now I'm lost physically, I'm lost mentally, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So I continue to drive, and then I realize at L'Almaty on the east, I know where I am, so okay, now I know where I am. I drive fast, I arrive to my meeting, got the contract. I think I finished around 11, and then I went back to the office. On the way back to the office, Alain phoned me. So he said, how are you? I said, my girlfriend just broke up with me. I just buried my friend. So not the great shape at the moment. He said, come and see me. I said, how are you? In the north. I said, no. So I drove back, I go back all the way to the north, and I went to the house where he was, and we start chatting. He started talking about Amelia, that she's a Christian, she's got different values, etc., etc., and that if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I'm like, okay. And then he said, would you mind if I read a scripture for you? I'm like, yeah, why not? And he read the story of a prodigal son, and while he was reading the story, and I was getting quite emotional. And at one moment, like, there's a spot of where the son comes back, and the father sees his son from far away, and he runs to him. And as he runs to him, he takes his coat and he put it on his son. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Gombe. It's quite hot in Gombe in May. And I did feel like a very heavy coat on my shoulder. Someone put something on my shoulder, but very heavy, not something thin, very heavy. And I just start crying. And he said, you're saved now. And so he said, you need to find a church. And I left there smiling, crying, but smiling. So afterwards, I found Redeemer, the old building. I think it was Martin and Arno greet me, and I always continue to come here afterwards. Try always to know the Lord, because like we have lots of heroes here at Redeemer, but I see lots of superheroes in front of me here. So it's quite intimidating. And Amelia left for Poland and for a few months, and then I was like learning more and more about God. And when she came back, we get back together, and she saw that I changed. And afterwards, we got married quite quickly, and when we have 2 children now.
So Jerome, before you were living for yourself in the world, doing whatever the world wanted, you had that moment with God as a prodigal son. How would you describe your life now? What is it that you are living for now?
I still do lots of sports, like horse riding and trying to have a federation and things like that, but and work as well, working a lot. But I do feel that God has placed me in a factory where, like you were saying about Joseph yesterday, like he put me in a place, and I don't say it's because of me that the factory is blooming. I think it's everyone who's helping. But I sure help and give a heart, and I can see in the factory the people who start changing. And when I have an opportunity, I just speak about the God. And the same in the sports, and with Redeemer, we have the opportunity also now always to my mindset changed completely, and I'm looking more outside the box and see how we can help other people, and how we can, because there's so many people in need everywhere. Like I see at the factory, I see the machinists just greeting, hi, how are you? A smile is always important for them, and I know they like it, because like they always smile and they're always fighting to say hi. And but it's nice as well to be able to help others, and my focus is more about helping others sometimes, and I try the best I can.
You do much better than that, Jerome. Jerome, I can testify as a man with a deep passion for the poor, and he's constantly sending me projects that are coming across his way and saying, what about this, Phil? Can we do this? What can we get involved in? Can we help with this one? Recently started a football club, and there are other football clubs. Why did you start that football club, and what's your heart behind that?
I was sharing with Jason during the meal 2 nights ago. What happened is that there's only 3 soccer fields in Black River. There's in front of Risotleol, one in a school, and one at Riverland there. And and Tamara, so 4. And Riverland changed management on the 1st of August. The kids from the village were allowed to play there for free for soccer. But the new owners decided that they don't bring any money, so they're worthless. And he kicked all the kids of the village out. So I didn't play soccer. I know about it. I was in federation. I know how the sports works. I know how to structure things, and I know I know lots of people, so I can help for getting money and put a structure into place. So it's actually the coach who came and some parents, and my cousin worked in district council. So we managed to get the pitch of Tamarin Bay, where we can train, and we have 6 coaches who came, and we said, okay, we're going to do our own soccer team, own soccer club. So we curated the club, and 1st of October we started with 65 kids, and end of January we are at 150 kids. So and God was opened so many doors in such a short period. It was just amazing, because like we needed to compete in tournament, we need the kit. But I've got under 17 to under 6, so it's a lot of categories. So I was like, I asked a quote, I didn't know how much it cost, but it was costing like 500,000 rupees. I said, I'm gonna get 500,000 rupees, man. So start talking a bit around. Redeemer help us, the company of Cheryl help us, Park Lane help us, Telfair help us, and we managed to get all the money. Another one sponsored all the equipment, and all the kids are doing very well. And actually, we have one field, lots of coach, and tomorrow all the category we competed, we are all in final. Tomorrow we're playing. So. We just want to add something. I went there on Wednesday. It's important to know that's like, if you don't do that, the kids of Black River, if you don't help them to have a sport, to have a hobby, what they're going to do? In Seychelles, they're going to sell drugs. They're going to get drunk. They're going to play on the road and then get hit by a car. So, and one kid, yes, like I went on Wednesday and I look at them and I know this kid, and you see the smile when he plays soccer, and I know that his parents are drug addicts. So this moment, this hour, twice a week for him, is just to bring a smile on his face is very important.
Jerome, you're an incredible man. I really love you a lot, and I think you're one of the reasons I do what I do, and may God multiply that work 1,000 times over. We're going to watch a little video of one of the other projects, and Jerome will be speaking on that video as well. Thank you, Jerome, for sharing with us today. We really bless you.
Thank you.
Avec I-61 Foundation, on a travaillé sur un projet sanitaire au village de Caredas. Pour savoir, les familles habitant le village de Caredas n'ont pas tous accès à l'eau potable et à des points de lavage ou un endroit pour faire la vaisselle parce qu'ils n'ont pas de cuisine forcément. Donc, nous avons travaillé ensemble sur un projet afin que plusieurs familles, ici habitent 47 familles, donc plus de la moitié de ces familles-là n'avaient pas accès à l'eau directe. Donc, il y a quelques années, nous avons reçu des réservoirs en donation, mais cette utilisation-là n'a pas été optimisée. Alors, on a voulu pouvoir, avec I-61 Foundation et ce projet sanitaire, faire que les familles puissent avoir plusieurs points d'eau à travers le village, avoir un lavoir aussi pour laver la vaisselle ou faire la lessive et qu'ils puissent vivre plus décemment.
So as a member of Redeemer Church, which is a local church based in Black River, one of our vision is to be able to help the community. And we have been presented via I-61 different projects that could be suitable and where we could participate, and to be able to help the needs of the people of Caredas with giving us better access to water. to be able to create a space where they can wash their clothes, they can do their dishes, and also to be able to improve their lifestyle and the dignity of the condition where they live was one of our main objectives in this project. We have been presented with different projects, and I61 go and look for those projects in the community, but not only in Mauritius, but also not only in Black River, but also in Mauritius and overseas. And they also give a very nice presentation, so we know exactly what is the objective of a project. We know where the funds are allocated, but I think the most important thing for us as a church is to be able to see the project and grow with the project, being able to help physically, to be part of this project.
I61 Foundation a le potentiel de travailler avec le pont du Tamarinier à l'avenir. Je l'espère beaucoup parce que nous aimons cette façon de collaborer, cette façon d'être impliqué à tous les niveaux du projet.
We're looking forward to work with I61 with many projects ahead and see what we can do to just give a little tiny part of our effort to those projects.
Well, what a wonderful morning. What a rich and beautiful morning. Exposure to this. Wonderful to hear your testimony and the things you're involved in. Beautiful. So we have a tea break now, and we're back at 11:30. 25 past, you start coming back.